So Q4 is just around the corner and it is the biggest shopping season of the year. So it's going to be your opportunity to make money. And I'm going to be sharing five of the best niches for you to make your first 10K this Q4. I'm going to be walking you through some of those niches, giving you ideas. I'm going to be walking you through the data of books that did really well last Q4. Then I'm also going to be showing you how you can create some of these ideas and then finally showing you through even more in-depth data. So make sure you stay and watch this full video to the end. So if you're new here, I'm Danny. I've been self-publishing for 5 or 6 years now, made multiple six figures from Amazon at KDP, and I want to give you your opportunity to make a lot of money this Q4. So I'll start off with the first niche, which is Advent calendar books. And they are a book that just contains 24 activities, puzzles, stories, or challenges, one for each day that lead up to Christmas. And why these work is because Advent calendars, they do have a clear buying deadline and they are very, very popular Christmas traditions. And some ideas you might have seen on Amazon are you've got the 24-day escape room Advent calendar, you've got Christmas mystery Advent calendar, even Bible stories, Christmas drawing. There are so many sub niches within this, and we'll take a look at one of the popular books last Q4 on Amazon, which was this book, an advent calendar for adults. You can see it's got 71 reviews. If you actually scroll down and actually take a look at its current BSR, it's got a quite high BSR, but what will happen is the closer it gets into Q4, it will just skyrocket. And this book was actually released October the 30th last year, and you can see that actually shot up to a BSR of roughly 3,000, which is absolutely insane. So if you just actually check that and just see how well it was doing, and it just had about 98 pages, we can see that that book was making $180 a day. And if it maintained that BSR, then it would have made over 5K in the month alone, which is mind-blowing. And we just take a look at the inside of the book. So we've got the cover page here, and then the first page, and then we've got a little introduction, and then we see December the 1st. So you want to go from December the 1st and then have a puzzle for each day all the way to the 24th. And then we can see that they've got a word game first, a Christmas Mad Lib, where you just choose a word and they're giving you whether it's an adjective, a noun, place, or whatever it is, and then you just have to add it within there. And after it, they've also added a did you know? So you've got interesting facts. So you can add a few more interesting things. So it's not just one puzzle a day. Maybe you want to add 3 or 4 to just keep them a bit more intrigued. You also want to consider your target audience. Are you making it for kids? Are you making it for adults? Are you making it for seniors? But there's so many niches within this. And I'll show you another popular advent calendar book last Q4. It was this murder mystery advent calendar, which is a great niche to get into. And this was a book that went and had a BSR of almost 2,000. You can see it was actually released in September. So it is getting towards that time where you need to be publishing your book. And from its release, it just shot up in October. It's going higher and higher and higher. And then November, it had its highest point. And then after November, one thing you have to realize with these books is the demand does drop. But these will do really well for that short period. So if you want to make a lot of money in a short period, this is the perfect niche for you. The puzzles are really easy to create. You can go to ChatGPT. I've also gone to Canva and found a similar Mad Lib. And then all you need to do is just customize it towards the niche that you are creating in. The second niche is activity books, and these are my favorite books to create. I've been able to make 6 figures from these types of books alone. Now, the best thing about these books is they are interactive books containing mazes, word searches, coloring pages, spot the difference puzzles, and so many other activities. You can include whatever you want. So kids, adults, seniors, they shouldn't really get bored with these books. And parents will buy them as affordable Christmas gifts, stocking fillers, and entertainment during school holidays. So they do sell well all year round, not just during Christmas. And there's so many book ideas around this. One I'm going to show you that did really well last Q4 is this 6-7 activity book for kids. And what was perfect about this author is they were really able to capitalize on this trend and were one of the first people to create the book around the trend. So they did really have the first movers advantage. You can see the amount of reviews and how well it did during December. It's still currently performing well with a BSR of 16,000, making $98 a day. And it was actually released on the 1st of December, but it really shot up because of the demand. And at the highest point, it actually had a BSR of 15, which is absolutely mind-blowing. And so at best, it was making nearly 5K a day. And that's if it was able to maintain that 15 BSR. which shows you how much demand can be if you really find a viral trend and you're able to blend it with, let's say, an activity book. The demand is definitely there. So we'll take a look at some of the activities included with inside the book. And we see the cover, we can see the sign for 6-7. And the one thing that's interesting about the book is that they go through different levels. So the book gets harder throughout it, but we can see it's got simple mazes. It's got a word search and word scramble. So this is actually a really simple book. It's not too complicated at all. Maybe I would have gone with a bit more of a custom border and made the text a bit more interesting, add more illustrations inside the book. So it looks a little bit more custom, but it just shows you that when you've got first movers advantage, a book doesn't even have to be that outstanding. They've found a trend, created a book around it, and it's done really well. So make sure you take your time to do research, look through some of the keywords that does appear in the Amazon search bar. We're getting ideas such as memory activity books for seniors, we've got soccer activity books, preschool activity book, toddler activity book, stroke recovery activity book. There's so many ideas that you can delve into, make sure there's demand, and then create a book around that. And now we've even got fantastic tools that can help you create these types of activity pages. Just going over to ChatGPT, all I did here was ask it to generate a 6-7 black and white number search page, and then it's been able to generate me this page here. Let me know if you can find 6-7 in the comments. And then I've also asked it to just create a 6-7 coloring page with 6-7 under the sea surrounded by sea creatures. And it's done that perfectly here. So that's another way that you can actually build out your coloring pages using AI. And it'll just take you a few minutes, if that, to create these pages. So we'll look at fact books. Now, these are just books that are filled with entertaining, surprising, or educational facts about a specific subject. And these work because they actually combine entertainment with education, and they make them easy for parents and relatives that want to buy a gift. There are so many ideas around this. You can do 1,000 funny facts for kids, weird but true animal facts. We've seen the popular 100,000 why niche as well. And one of the books that did really well last Q4 was this alternate book of random fun facts. You can see they've put the number of 1,000 interesting facts and trivia quizzes about history, science, sports, animals, space, and anything in between. So it's got a load of things kids will be interested in. It's got a super interesting cover. We see Albert Einstein opening this book and then everything just exploding around him. So it really adds to that curiosity element. And if we see its current BSR, it's still performing quite well. This book does well all year round. So it's got a BSR of 950. So at best, it's making $595 a day. And last Q4, it got to a BSR at the highest of roughly 15. So similar to the previous book, it was making almost 5K a day at best. And if we take a look at the inside of this book, we'll really see how easy it is to create something like this. So we've got the cover page, then we can see all of the contents of the book, and literally it's just listing all the facts about a specific subject. So there aren't really many illustrations. There's not a super amount of detail within this book, which makes something like this very easy to create. We can just go to ChatGPT. And I've literally gone and asked it for 100 facts about food, and it's listed me all these facts. Just also make sure you do double check these and make sure that they are correct, because then I can go and put them into Canva and add some illustrations, make the book look a little bit more interesting. And that's how you can build up your book very quickly in no time. So fourth, we have how to draw books, and these have really grown in popularity over the last year or two. And these are just step-by-step books teaching children how to draw particular characters, animal, objects, or themed. So these work really well because they are creative, they're educational and interactive, which makes them a great gift for kids at Christmas. And there's so many book ideas around this. One of the first books in this niche was this book, How to Draw Everything. So there's 300 drawings of cute stuff, animals, food, gifts, and other amazing things. And we can see the design has got the text in the center, surrounded by all the different things you can draw. And then you've got a visualization of how to draw a cat. And scrolling it down, we can see it's got a BSR of 118, and this is making up to 2K a day. And the great thing about this type of book is that it does sell well all year round. Last Q4, we can see the closer it got to December, the BSR was increasing, and it actually got to number 1. which just shows the possibilities of publishing on Amazon KDP. To think that the number one best-selling book was a self-published how to draw book, it should just tell you that anything is actually possible. And there are so many niches within inside this. Even if we just look at the suggestions, we've got anime, animals, we've got manga, we've got people, you've got specific ages you might want to target. But this book alone that got to number one was actually making nearly $15,000 a day, which just goes to show how self-publishing can really change your life. And let's take a look at the inside of the book. So we have the cover, then we have the first page, and it's just showing you how to use the book with a 4-step example of how to draw. We see the contents. So you've got food and drinks, you've got toys and sports, and then you've got amazing things. And we can see an example here. You've got 4 steps. And then you've got a practice area here, which makes it super simple. So what I've gone and done is actually taken a screenshot of this. Then I've gone and put it into ChatGPT, and I've asked it to create a similar step-by-step how to draw page with a puppy, panda, and octopus. Then I've given it the dimensions on the page I've wanted, and it's created this page here. So it's done a great job. The only issue I had with this is that each steps didn't have an arrow. So all you need to do is just ask it to make sure there is an arrow for each step of the image, and it's done it perfectly here. So these are how you can build up your how to draw pages very easily using AI. This is a great niche to get into, so make sure you start creating now. Last but not least, we have giftable journals. So these are created for a specific person, relationship, or purpose, and they're not just simply blank notebooks. And these work really well just because people buy emotional and personalized gifts during Q4. So a well-positioned journal can actually continue selling for birthdays, Mother's Day, and Father's Day. And there's a few examples of these on Amazon. So the first one we'll take a look at is Dad, I Want to Hear Your Story. So this is just a father's guided journal to share his life and his love. And it'll be a great gift for people that want to know more about their dad's story. And this is a super simple cover here. It's not anything too detailed. If we scroll down and take a look at its current BSR, 6,917, and most is making $168 a day. But when it comes to Q4, this book absolutely blows up. You see, during August, it had a BSR of around 300, and then it slowly shoots up over October, November, and December. So we can see it actually gets to a BSR of number 3, which is absolutely crazy to see, which means it was making nearly $10,000 a day just during that period alone. And this publisher has been able to create a brand around it. So you also have the mom, I Want to Hear Your Story, grandfather, I Want to Hear Your Story, boyfriend, we've got girlfriend as well, aunt, uncle. There's so many ideas that you can create from this. And if we take a look at the inside of the book, you'll just see how simple it is. So I've got the cover page here. You've got a quote here, this book belongs to, another quote, then just about this book. And then we've got different sections. So this section is that it's just your birthday. And then you've got various questions that your dad can answer. So it's just really questions and a few lines, really simple idea. But this book was making 10K a day during the Christmas period. So this simple idea has massive potential. And if you are struggling for questions, all you need to do is just go to ChatGPT and ask it for some ideas. So I've asked it to provide me 99 questions for a I Want to Hear Your Story pet book. And then it's given me all of these questions with different sections. So we've got the beginning, personality, daily life, adventures together, and so on. So it's really good for idea generation, and it's going to also help you, and it's going to help you to be able to build your guided journal book. So I've given you several different ideas now for this Q4, but it's really down to you now to take action on any of these 5 niches. I recommend just picking 1 to 2 niches and then just actually focus on creating high quality books rather than actually trying to go through every single niche, and you just can't go deep enough to create a quality book. But it's more important that you also actually spend time doing research and you actually look through customer demand. I've shown you that all of these books do have very low BSR, so there is demand, but there is also a lot of competition. So you need to find your own unique angle. What are other people not doing in the market that you could be doing? Look through the book reviews, make sure you check the negative book reviews to see what maybe some of these books might have missed, and then you can add something to it also. And as I mentioned before, it is hugely important that you do find your own angle, that you are targeting a specific audience, theme, age group, or use case. And you must prioritize allocating an advertising budget. Yes, you can publish a book, but you also need to be able to market it and have money to push it to do well on Amazon. These books are not just going to sell well on their own. Advertising will help your book gain visibility, and you'll also be able to collect a lot of data during Q4 that will actually help your book hopefully sell well over the rest of the year too. So make sure that you do start early, focus on quality, and treat each book like it is actually a real product. Don't just be throwing books out there, but take the time and follow all the steps that I've given you. If you do need further guidance and the perfect tool that will actually help you and give you so much data into what was selling well at last Q4, there's Bookbeam here. You can come to the category history and you can see which books were selling well over a specific date range. You can see the top 1,000 self-published books over Christmas, over any period. You can choose the date, and then all you need to do is just scroll through the books and you'll get so many ideas from this, which is going to save you so much time with your research. And I've got a link for this in the description if you want to check it out. Let me know what niche you'll try publishing in. And if you want to see any other videos, also let me know in the comments.